Arryn asked Cassidy, "Will you be my family? If that's the case, then you won't have to live such a tragic life anymore. There's also no need to kill others to stay alive. No one will ever disrespect you again." Cassidy seemed to have found a savior, saying, "If that's what Master wants, whatever it is." Arryn took his hand and said, "You don't have to call me so stiffly. After all, we will become family." At this moment, a subtle expression crossed Cassidy's face. However, he quickly changed his expression, saying, "I understand. Sister, you're truly a gentle person." Although Arryn had noticed the subtle expression from a moment ago, but in the end, the fact that she let Cassidy come into this family is only to protect her and her father. So what he thinks is not important to her. Arryn hoped Cassidy would take advantage of her like she took advantage of him. Soon, Arryn brought Cassidy back home and arranged his accommodation. When the sun turned red, it reminded her of the time she was killed by Damien. It always seemed to serve as a reminder, urging her not to forget her killer. Determined to make Damien suffer 100 times more than she endured, she was resolute in not losing Cassidy. She was determined to make him her brother. After Cassidy finished washing up and donned elegant attire, he officially became a part of Arryn's family. Holding Arryn's hand, Cassidy said, "Sister, I will surely prove my worth." He then requested a sword, expressing his comfort with having one by his side. Later, Cassidy gently confessed, "There's something I must tell you. It seems I've grown fond of you. Since the first time I saw you, I couldn't take my eyes off you. If this is a dream, I hope never to wake up. But even if you abandon me, I won't harbor any resentment." However, Arryn understood that Cassidy was merely playing a role. It had only been a day, and he was attempting to captivate her with sweet words, despite the pleading eyes. Seemingly begging her not to abandon him, she went along with his sentiments, earnestly promising, "I won't abandon you, I guarantee it. If there's anything on your mind, feel free to come to the room next door anytime." Arryn decided to play the role of a naive sister until Cassidy opened up. She vowed to be gentler and more caring than anyone else. With just a month left until the Crown Prince's birthday party, Arryn needed to gather information about Damien. When she was 20 years old, she would meet Damien at the Crown Prince's birthday party. As she pondered her next move, Cassidy knocked on Arryn's door and entered, admitting he couldn't sleep and had shamelessly come to find her. Seeing a book beside Arryn, he unconsciously mentioned its titles. Arryn was surprised to learn that Cassidy could read, considering in the Seville Empire, slaves rarely had the opportunity to learn. Yet, he read naturally, though she refrained from probing further. Sensing he hadn't entirely let down his guard, suddenly, Cassidy leaned in, expressing his unease. "I can't sleep. If you don't mind, can we sleep together?" Arryn was calm. She knew that perhaps Cassidy was testing her, so she lifted the sheets, saying, "If that's what you want, so be it. Come here." As they lay together, Cassidy opened up every night. "The people I killed appear in my dreams. They crawl to my side with blood all over their bodies and whisper, asking me why I killed them." Arryn comforted him. "It wasn't your fault. It was just an action of using a sword to help you protect yourself." She caressed his cheek, saying, "I hope you don't mind the past. I also hope you won't be alone, embracing those festering wounds, because after this, there will be only good days left." Cassidy held her hand, expressing, "There's only one person in the arena. You are the only one who shines brightly, so seeing you up close like this makes my day even brighter. Thank you for bringing me back here." Arryn responded with a smile. Shortly after, Arryn pretended to fall asleep. Feeling Cassidy's gaze, Cassidy, with an unfriendly expression, looked at Arryn, then stroked her hair, saying, "Sister, I hope you have a nice dream." When Cassidy left, Arryn opened her eyes, knowing of course. Turns out he was a liar, just like how he pretends to be a gentle person. Same goes for Cassidy. Since he had encountered so many dangerous things in the arena, it was only natural for him to act like that. She also don't expect him to believe her in the first place. She will definitely meet Damien at the birthday party. Until then, she have to officially put Cassidy in her family and tame him. But she don't know anything about Cassidy, even if she tried to search through the memories of her past life. The fact that she made eye contact with him, who was quietly standing next to the Crown Prince, was all. With this in mind, Arryn resolved to thoroughly investigate Cassidy's past. She swore to put in his hands anything he desired, just as Cassidy had seemingly put himself in her hands. The next morning, Arryn went to the study room to see her father, but to her surprise, she found Cassidy covered in blood. Arryn's father actually had yet to fully accept Cassidy. due to his slave background, which was inappropriate for an adopted son in a noble family. Therefore, Aren's father gave him a challenging test: retrieve an herb that grows only in caves on the steep cliffs to the west, as there were rumors of those caves being inhabited by monsters. Speaking up for Cassidy, Aren said, if only because of his status as a slave, father would not accept him. Then please also drive me out of this family. Her father, shocked, and Cassidy, equally surprised, had no choice but to accept Aren's request. Her father admitted defeat, saying, I guess I'm the type of parent who can't win against his children in this world. Alright, Aren, just do what you want. Touched, Aren hugged her father, saying, thank you so much. Father, she looked at Cassidy and said, come here, please help me later. Cassidy smiled, responding, I hope you take care of me too. Sister and father. As night fell, Cassidy undressed to take a bath, revealing a back covered in scars. Cassidy's mind echoed with the events of the afternoon, finding Aren to be a truly peculiar woman and not understanding her true motives. However, Cassidy didn't really care about Aren. He had only one goal anyway. All he had to do was use her by any means available. At this point, nobody knew Cassidy's true motive for getting close to Aren. The next morning, when Aren went out to the street, she spent a considerable amount of money to buy a short sword to give to Cassidy. According to the shopkeeper, it is said that this sword was carried by the heir of the fallen kingdom of Highland. When she returned home and found Cassidy, she encountered him just coming out of the bathroom. He was wearing a bathrobe with wet hair, looking quite attractive. Upon seeing the sword, Cassidy showed a surprised expression and subtly asked Aren, where did you find it? Aren replied, it was known to be for sale in the nearby stall. So I bought it because I remembered you, but there was no scabbard for the sword. Cassidy seemed sullen, saying, I'm sure there was a scabbard for this sword as well. Soon, he changed his expression to a happier one and said, this is the gift you gave me, so it's better to keep it as it is. It's okay without a scabbard. Aren smiled. I sincerely welcome you to become a member of our family. Cassidy hugged Aren, saying, meeting you is the greatest luck of my life. If it weren't for you, I might still be in the arena. You are like an angel descending from heaven. Aren looked somewhat helpless. I also thank you for becoming a part of my family, but usually, siblings don't hug each other. Cassidy apologized to Aren, admitting his mistake. Aren thought to herself, it was a silly mistake. Please keep thinking of me as a nice and foolish woman. Just leave your worries and follow me slowly. Like paint spreading in the water, Aren held Cassidy's hand. If you can't sleep at night, you can come to my room. I will hold your hand until you fall asleep. Cassidy asked, isn't that something ordinary siblings usually do? So let's be extraordinary siblings, Aren says. She couldn't help but wonder, where will this Western drama of siblinghood end? At night, Cassidy came to find Aren again, and Aren could feel him continuously looking up at her. If she chose to completely fall asleep tonight, it was to ease Cassidy's vigilance. That night, Damien appeared in Aren's dream, so she woke up scared, feeling really nauseous. She wondered if Cassidy had gone back in the early morning. At that moment, she noticed a missing book on the shelf. A maid came to report, Madam, the person you told me to look into earlier, I discovered something, but it's somewhat strange. This person, perhaps he wasn't a servant originally.